Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises to our Paul, Yehovah, Shem Shai, Shem Kakadash, Kahalam, Yehovah, Shem Shai, Shem Kakadash. That's in the ancient Hebrews, all praises to Yehovah, in the name of Shai, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Yehovah is the correct name for the God of the Bible, who the world ignorantly called Jehovah, God, or Yahweh. His son's true name in Hebrew is El Shai, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. I want to give double honors unto our elders and apostles of Fear No Stone, and shalom to all the brothers and Modia pushing this word in sincerity and in truth to all that believe in this gospel. Shalom. All right, this lesson. Just I'll do a commentary on this video I came across. From this individual, it said the beat by Alan Parr says, why did God create Satan knowing he would rebel against him? And he was basically going into the spiritual demon Satan. And I'm going to play the video, some part, maybe not all of it, I'm not sure. I'm just going to the scriptures and show you that the spiritual demon Satan have not rebelled against the Most High and is actually doing the will of the Most High. And the whole idea that we were sold on to both Satan was one of the best angel and him fight against God and get kicked out there. That ain't in the Bible. You see me? That's a lie. That's a lie, sir. Anyway, so let's just play the video. All right, so the first pointer, that's off as well. There's no in the Bible that speaks about man literally having free will. It speaks about free will sacrifice, yes, but that's the only thing it refers to. If I may, twice. Well, sorry. Yeah. So it arrives 17 times. Free will. Yeah. So it speaks about free will. So it speaks about free will offerings, and I'm only seeing one at a time. It referred to somebody go by them free will. Here. It says, this is Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 13. It says, I make a decree that all they of the people of Israel and of his priests and Levites in Malram, which are minded of their own free will to go up to Jerusalem, go with thee. So whole year, see them have free will, and your speech chips also speaks about free will offering. But what we're not told in these churches is that the thought that we'll have, we think is for free will. Look at this. This is Proverbs 16, verse 1. The preparations of the heart, go back to the Hebrew lab, mean mind, in man, and the answer, so the preparations, the thoughts, what we think of, and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord, right? So everything is from the Lord, the thoughts. Verse 9 says, a man deviseth his own way, but the Lord directed his steps. So man, you think what way you want, it doesn't say in Jamaica, a man plan God wipe out. Because an idea one will stand. Scripture also says this when I go to the book of Jeremiah 10 and 23. This is Jeremiah 10, verse 23. O Lord, I know that the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps. And a quick show you say, oh, free will contradictory to the scriptures. Because people like to say God have a plan for you, right? If the Most have a plan for our life, how can we have free will? Because if I have free will, simple means that we can cancel out a plan that the Most have for me. But you can't do that. And here the scripture tell you, it is not in man that walketh to direct his steps. You know, Apostle Kabar always bring out one to man goings of the Lord. Proverbs 20 and 24. Here we go. This Proverbs 20, verse 24. Man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? Because we know we're destiny. So you know what will happen to you. You know, say if I go down the road, I get shoot. First thing first, we never choose upon. That not free will completely. When I go to the book of Job, it's 33. I don't know. Verse 14 says, for God speaketh once, yea twice, yet man perceive it not. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, in slumberings upon the bed, when you are asleep, then you openeth the ears of men and sealeth their instructions. So the Most High seal instructions will go under the following day, that he may withdraw man from his purpose and hide pride from man. So it's not of us that do things, it's the will of the Most High. Everything we do is of the Most High. Right? All right, so and now we read it still, but Romans 9 chapter completely. You know, it's designate. Let's just get rid of the word topic of free will. They shut it. All right, so let's go to the point. You can read the whole chapter if you want. All right, verse 11. So Romans 9 and 11. For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of God according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that called it. So before the children were born, who? Esau and Jacob, the Most High sealed them instructions when they go and come on the earth come do. Not of works, but of him that called it. The Most High election, when him want, when him govern. It says, it was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. So Most High sure some even makes money for hate. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God? God forbid. For he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So then it is not of him that willeth, so it's not of a man which oh me want this or desire this, nor of him that runneth or what you do, but of God that showeth mercy. For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. So the scripture tells the Most High make Pharaoh, raise him up, make him heart stubborn, so he can destroy him and show him power. So Pharaoh was a servant or a pawn of the Most High. That's what you're supposed to fear him. It says, therefore, had he mercy on whom he will have mercy, and whom he will he harden it. Because when you do something bad, he mash you up. It says, thou wilt say then unto me, why doth he yet find fault? For who had resisted his will? For if it makes man to do evil, and you destroy them, it makes man to do you warn them. So man will resist your will. We're all doing your will. Nay, but, O man, who art thou that replies against God? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? So you can't look to the maker and say, why you make me feel this and treat me like this? No. Had not the potter power over the clay of some of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another to dishonor? So you can do what you want with your creation. If you want love one, you can love it. You want to make one fish fit do whatever purpose, you can do that. The Most High is all powerful. We are his servants. We do his will. That's it, done. What if God, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endure with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction? So if the Most High want to make one vessel, Edomites, right, for display of wrath, this is how we destroy people. This is what wickedness is like, and this is how we deal with wickedness. And that he might make known the riches of his glory and the vessels of mercy which he had afore prepared unto glory. So, which are the Israelites? This is all mercy is like. This is all displayed in the earth. Let's go back to the scripture. So, there is no such thing as free will. The first one wrong already. Which he does. He served the Most High. And we're going to find biblical proof say Satan still under the will of the Most High up to now. Right, but there's two. See, the Satan refer to you have the spiritual one, it's in the heavens, and you have the one named on the earth right now. We're going to fight against the Lord when you come. Right? So that's just, you have to understand there's two. Satan just means adversary. You have people on the earth where the Most High set up, just like when he set up fear of fight against him. You have people on the earth right now, you have the spiritual demon, Satan, to see if he make them fight against him when he come. That's it. Now, this is just bullshit. There's no one in the Bible that says, literally nowhere in the Bible that says God did not create Satan. God created Lucifer. Utter rubbish. Let's get it. I think let me see. One time Lucifer ever get mentioned, the word Lucifer ever get mentioned in the Bible. See? Lucifer occurs one time in the verse in the KJV. One day time. And we're going to find out it refer to one specific person. So this is what the sovereign Lord says. You were the seal of perfection, full of wisdom and perfect beauty. This didn't talk about Lucifer, brother. That in the Bible either. That's not in the scriptures. I was taught that shit in coming up in Christianity and the churches, but that in the Bible. Then we find it. That's not in the scriptures either. That in the Bible either. That in the Bible either. This is all just we call it. I don't even know where they get it from, to be honest with you. Me grew up I hear that too. When you hear the Bible for yourself, none of that in the Bible. Nowhere. So me just do a quick search, Lucifer, and a one place get mentioned, and it talk about the king of Babylon. Let's prove it real quick. This is Isaiah 14, and this is when the kingdom of heaven is established. Right? It's a prophecy. When the kingdom of heaven is established, verse 4, that thou shalt take up this parable against the king of Babylon, and say, how are the oppressor seized, the gold into the seized, and go on and tell you. You see me? So Lucifer here is really referring to the king of Babylon. When he say, oh, art thou falling from heaven, it just means falling from his rulership, his glory, his estate, him being in power, right? The king of Babylon, of course. Let's find out real quick. In the Hebrew, it's Hayalab. Lucifer, like bearer, shining one morning star, Lucifer, of the king of Babylon and Satan. Is the which them show Satan in there, right? This what it's really, because this is what them tell us. Oh, Satan or Lucifer. Bullshit. You see me? Them have the, I don't know, some knockoff Hebrew. It's a thing that the Yiddish. You see me? But describing the king of Babylon. That's what it really means. Right? Because let's just prove it real quick. Say it really not talk about a spiritual demon. When we go down to verse 16, this is it. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man? Not the spiritual demon, Satan. Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? As we know, the Babylonian kingdom was basically powerful and then conquered other people until they were taken down by I think Nebuchadnezzar's grandson Belshazzar is him basically day and day. You can read the story in that book of Daniel. And basically was having a banquet, drink wine and so forth. And one hand come and write some on him on the wall. But precisely. No, it's not 4. I think that's 6. Five. Here it says 5 verse 5, and in the same hour came forth fingers of a man's hand and wrote over against the candlesticks upon the plaster of the wall of the king's palace, and the king saw the part of the hand that wrote. You see me? Basically, someone hand was come out of nowhere writing upon the wall. Frightening as hell. Right? And if you know what took place, it was a strategic takedown by I think it was Darius. You see me? Right? But not really it. You see me? Babylon come down to none. So let's continue this now. A good precept to disprove it as well. Isaiah 40, 6-16. 7. This is Isaiah 45 verse 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Proverbs 16 verse 4. The Lord had made all things for himself. Yeah, even the wicked for the day of evil. So the Most High make the murderer to murder people. Yeah, and that's true. Everything the Most High created was good and is good on a spiritual standpoint because this is what the Lord did. Let's get it real quick. The scripture said, without like get wisdom and without like get understanding, yeah. It's needed. I'm gonna have to drop all of the madness that we were told growing up. Because it's not biblical. Alright, this is Sirach Ecclesiasticus chapter 33, and this is from the Apocrypha. 16 books, if I'm mistaken, that was taken from the original text. If I pre like the King James 1611, you'll see that the Apocrypha was a part of it, but they took it out. But we have it now. This is Sirach Ecclesiasticus 33, verse 13. As the clay is in the potter's hand, to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him, to render to him as liking him best. Good is set against evil, and the life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. So look upon all the works of the Most High. They are two and two, one against another. That's perfection. Not if you have light, you have to have darkness. Not if you have up, you have to have down. Not if you have good, you have to have evil. One can't work without the other. Negative versus positive. So the Most High create things. So it's manifest on the earth. And yeah, that's a bad comparison. And no, we don't have free will. There's no in the Bible that says we have free will. Yeah, that's true. Good is present, and evil is present, so the Most High can demonstrate him love. Because in order to love, you have to have hate. You see me? In order to have hate, you have to have love. That's how it's manifest. That's reading earlier in the book of Romans, the 9th chapter. You have one vessel for honor, one for dishonor. And this is not referring to spiritual demon Satan. Spiritual demon Satan is still in the heavens and he come down upon earth and do the will of the Most High when he's appointed. Right here, I'll send above the I think was mentioned twice. I'm not mistaken. It's in the book, well, Isaiah. See Isaiah 14. King of Babylon. You see me? It's referring to the king of Babylon. I literally just show you that. It's referring to the king of Babylon. Today you have a so-called white man, which are known as this Satan, the devil, the dragon, and Satan. And the thing they refer to him as what you want still I'm a butcher it. Revelation 20 verse 2. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, right, and bound him 1,000 years. And this is referring to the so-called white race. You know, they were called the serpent back in Genesis. They are called the dragon. I think it's in the previous chapters. Um, Revelation 12, you see me? And even when you look up the beasts in the book of Daniel 7 chapter, it was referring to people, not literal beasts. Right? It says, which is the devil and Satan. Satan, go back to what? Adversary. Right? This is when Esau fell out the power during the fall of the paganic Roman Empire, if you will, called himself that was the Holy Roman Empire, which wasn't really holy still, but that's when he saw the so-called warriors came with the power. All right. When was it the mission, the last one that ruled Edomite, yeah, last Edomite Caesar. So yeah, so what I don't know, I'm going at the point of proving that hey, Satan, the spiritual demon Satan, is actually still working for the Most High. Can I'm like see you Satan get kicked out of heaven, but really and truly, that's referring to the so-called white man and him army when him fight against the Lord when he returned. This is it. This is a prophecy. Revelation, things which must surely come to pass. Revelation 1 and 1. You see me? So this is coming if find out if Satan get kicked out of heaven can rebel against the Most High. When did it take place? Because in the night garden, in the night book of Job, he get far from in the time of Isaiah then, if I said them one put it. And now here in the book of Revelation is a thing which must surely come to pass. So when did he really get kicked out of heaven? Revelation 12 verse 7. And there was war in heaven. This heaven referring to the sky. Quick proving the point there real quick is Revelation 19. Well, same thing. And Revelation 19 and 11, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. All right, this is the sky. Horse represents the chariot, but I just want to get the point. It's when the Lord returned. Look at this. Verse 17. And I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the foes that fly in the midst of heaven, where fowl fly in the sky. Right, but it's referred to as heaven. That's the sky. You see me? Come and gather yourself together unto the supper of the great God. Because the Most High come back and kill. But Yahweh shall come back and kill all the people. You see me? Just to put the point said the whole heaven here referring to sky. So when I go back to Revelation 12 and 7, and there was war in heaven referring to the sky. Right? Michael and his angels. So Michael is the chief archangel. No, Daniel 12 and 1 says, and this is Michael is not the name of the Lord in heaven. It's bullshit. You see me? The name of the Lord is Yahushai. Michael is one of the archangels. It's like how you have Gabriel and you have Uriel. You see me? Michael is one of them. It says, and his angels fought against the dragon. This dragon is representing who? Serpent, is the devil. All titles given unto Esau, the so-called white race, and fought against, and the dragon fought and his angels. So the dragon is referring to Esau and the military. I'm going to get a quick point of a show. So this dragon referring to the kings, right, of the earth, chief the so-called white race, and prevailed not, neither was their place found anymore in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil, and Satan all titles, which deceived the whole world. The white man did that, yo. One of the biggest lie ever tell is that he's not the devil. He's not Satan. Guys, let me say what being at so I don't know butcher it either. Um, Second Corinthians 11:14. It says, 2 Corinthians 11, verse 14, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Right? Because that's the trickery. And like the devil will come and say, oh, I am the devil. Hell no. He can come and tell us, oh, he's a white man. He's a philanthropist. He's a lover of mankind. He's trying to make the world better. Take this chip. It says, he was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him because what? They're going to be blast out of the sky, and be what? Just know. Let's just get a quick pointer. Sure, so that war in the heavens not yet, therefore to when Lord return, and now fight against these nations. So here, this is Second Ezra chapter 13, verse. All right, verse 29. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth. So this is the last days. And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another. So it will be all out war upon the earth. And one realm against another. World War III really gonna be the main war. That's why I say Russia running on Ukraine and NATO back Ukraine and all that. Israel want to attack Iran and all that thing. Wars and rumors of wars, as Yahushua said. It says, and the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen which I shewed thee before, and then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending. And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have one against another, and an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together as thou sawest them, willing to come to overcome him by fighting. So then going to try to fight against the Lord. That's what what's it? I'm sorry. Revelation 12, verse 7, 8, 9, Revelation 19, 11 on down was talking about fight that's going to take place in the sky when the Lord returns and going to try to fight against him, so alien invasion. It says, but he shall stand upon the top of Mount Zion, and Zion shall come, and it shall be showed to all men, being prepared and built, like as thou sawest the hill graven without hands. And this my son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are falling to the tempest. Right? So basically, sure say, oh, these nations are trying to fight against the Lord. That's what it's referring to in Revelation 12. So that war in heaven will take place. It's a prophecy. It's going to befall in these last days. So let's go back here now. Sure say, oh, Satan, now get kicked out of the spiritual demon, isn't me? Right? Him actually to do with that in the side. All right, so this is Samuel chapter 20, Second Samuel 24, verse 1. And again, the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, and he moved David against them to say, go and number Israel. So here you have the scriptures of the Lord, David numbered Israel. The Most High was hungry with him and suffered, right? But we won't find out how that took place. This is First Chronicles chapter 21, verse 1. And Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number Israel. So the Most High had Satan, so David actually did that, just as though we see him here in the book of First Kings chapter 22, verse 19. And he said, he referring to Micaiah. That's the name of the prophet. Sometimes pronounce the name, but I'm just get it real quick. Micaiah, yeah. It says, and he said, Hear, though, therefore, the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the hosts of heaven standing by him on his right hand and on his left. And the Lord said, Who shall pursue Ahab, that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said, On this manner, and another said, On that manner. And there came forth a spirit, spirit, right? Satan, and stood before the Lord and said, I will pursue him. And the Lord said unto him, Wherewith? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, Thou shalt pursue him, and prevail also. Go and do so. So Satan, I get the sanction. So you're going to do that. Going to deceive him. Because that's the devil's job. Now therefore, behold, the Lord had put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these thy prophets, and the Lord had spoken evil against thee. God the Most High have two sides playing out upon the earth. In left hand, when we used to basically look for like evil, and in right hand, we used to push for like blessing and good, so to speak. But the Most High control every single thing, right? And then precept here to defend that point. Maybe hard to swallow to some, but yeah, Most High control. That's why He's the Almighty. Because if He is not the Almighty, if you have Satan and do his own thing, then that would make the Most High the Almighty. Satan will be a bad man, what can do anyone do? Rebel against God, fight against God, fuck up two angels. Sorry for my French. You see me? No. He says, oh, I'm sorry, Ecclesiasticus 18 verse 3, who governeth the world with the palm of his hand, and all things obey his will, for he is the king of all, by his power dividing all the things among them from profane. Right? So let's get this. This is Job account now, another account. It's all over the scriptures, but people don't get taught the scriptures. They get taught Christianity. Some shit went in the Bible. This is Job 1 verse 6. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord. It's a long after the time when that's written in the Garden of Eden. It's long after, years after. So Job, an Israelite, years after. And Satan came also among them. So the Most High upon him showing, just like how Micaiah sends to the vision, you see me? There's no one that counts like one. Sons of God are gathered before the Most High. Come to time, Satan come too. Satan's a part of the council. And the Lord said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro into the earth, and from walking up and down in it. So you see that I say, every day in the earth, no, do the works. Not in so many words, but really. So this is Satan upon the earth, and then Satan appearing in the heavens, and then Satan gets sanctioned upon the earth again for some more work, and then go back to report to the Most High. That's his job. Verse 8, and the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, and perfect and upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth evil? Then Satan answered the Lord and said to Job, Fear God for naught? Has not thou made an edge about him, and about his house, and about all that he had on every side? So this was the right hand to protect Job. You see me? Right? Scripture said the angel of the Lord encamped round about them that fear the Lord, because you have so-called good angels, they have so-called evil angels who do the will of the Most High, depending on what you want execute. It says, Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. But put forth thine hand now. That's my brushing. And touch all that he had, and he will curse thee to thy face. And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, all that he had is in thy power. So the Most High gives Satan the power, the sanction. Say, go on. only upon himself, put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. Satan allowed to test Job. This is years after Genesis. So when you find out when Satan get kicked out, this is Satan take out us on the Most High. This is Psalms 78 verse 49. He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath, and indignation. Right, I believe this is this in the time of Egypt when he destroy Egypt. Yep, it's been read up here, we understand. But more get the main point. And troubled, so I'm troubled by sending evil angels among them. Because it's the Lord sending evil angels upon the Egyptian them to torment them. So who control evil spirits? Were they rebelling against the Lord? Was Satan rebelled against God? No. So this is the Lord that send evil angels. The Lord just send Satan to go test Job. And the Most High send a lying spirit to go basically make what was the name of that king there? I think Job and another one. Two of them. You have the king of Judah and the king of Israel. Josaphat. That's it. You see me? So where is that? Yeah, next one is Sirach chapter 39 verse 28. It says, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on the sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. So you have spirits when the Most High create to do destruction upon the earth, and I release them in the time to come and restore. Just as I release evil angels in the time of Egypt, I release them again. And it's going to be man's heart filling them for fear, right? Mighty mankind there bitterly, because this is going to be the last hurrah. It says fire and hail, famine and death, all these were created. The Most High created them for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword punishing the wicked to destruction. They shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth when it is, and when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. So the Most High live and reign, and he's going to monitor everything. Nothing is out of the hands of the Most High. So no, spiritual demon Satan didn't rebel against God. He was created to do exactly what he's doing today. And that's the power of a Yahweh Shem El Shai. That's his true name in the Hebrew. But that hope this test is edifying thing like out there, giving all praise to power Yahweh Shem El Shai, Shem Kodash. The honors unto elders and apostles of great millstone, that's our teachers. The Most High sit down upon the earth to teach, even me. I'm never learned from them through YouTube, but elders over there, brothers out in Jamaica, as the Ethiopian unit said, how can I understand unless someone should guide me, so we can understand the truth of the scriptures, right? Knowing what the will of the Lord is, separate from philosophies, right? What you call it, old wise fables, cunning the device fables, all these lies that was told throughout all the earth by the devil. That's the one physical manifestation, so-called virus. Right, so yeah, with that, we'll be edifying. Once more, give our praise to our poor, Yahweh Shem Shai, Shem Kakadash, Kalalam, Yahweh Shem Shai, Shem Kakadash, the honors unto elders and apostles of great millstone, and shalom to the full. Shalom.